The following is a Comfortably Zoned Radio Network production.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Comfortably Zoned Radio Network. I'm Rob Deininger, and I'm here with Jack Degraw, and as always, we're talking Yankees baseball. How you doing, Jack?
Good. How are you today, Robert?
Not too bad. Yankees right now are currently down 2-0 in the bottom of the second. They had a 5-game winning streak going into last night, but they ended up losing in extra innings. They're 0-5 in extra inning games on the road this year.
Yeah, like we were talking off air, I mean, since July 31st, the bullpen has blown 8 games late in the game, 8 leads late in the game. And, right now they don't really have a bullpen.
No. Go ahead, I was going to say you got Chapman and Holmes right now, both on the IL.
Yeah, and today, before I forget, the Yankees signed, Anthony Beta from Toronto, who struggled most of the year, and they signed an old Yankee pitcher who's had some success with the Chase Severin. Okay.
Yeah.
So, when you're signing pitchers going into December or September, it just shows that your bullpen is a big big question mark right now.
It's like we lost Michael King and Chad Green earlier this season, and now you got Holmes and Chapman on the IL, and right now we're so thin. I mean, I don't know who you turn to save games, close out games right now.
Yeah, really, right now you got a bullpen by committee.
Yeah.
And I don't know how far that's going to take you. When you get to they got to play well in September, they'll blow the division, and then going forward in the playoffs, that could that's a problem. I think Chapman is done with the Yankees. He won't be back next season.
Yeah, I mean, right now he has an infection on his leg from a tattoo he got, and apparently it's a bad infection. But they haven't given a timetable on his return. Boone just says, we'll see how he is in a few days.
Well, I mean, the thing is, they don't want to get rid of him right now, just release him, because some team will pick him up, and maybe he can. He might come back and bite him in the playoffs or something. But I think his career with the Yankees is done, and hopefully, they can get Clay Holmes back. And then you were telling me Zach Britton got hurt last night in a rehab appearance.
Yeah, I don't know if it was cramps or what it is, but someone said, it didn't look good last night. But, I haven't got all the details, but it's just not a good sign.
Yeah, you're hoping to get him back. I mean, I don't know really what you can expect with him after coming back from, the Tommy John surgery, but they could have got something out of him, because I really don't know what they can do right now with the bullpen.
Yeah. I mean, like last night, Domingo Germán was pitching a great game. He even had a no-hitter through 6, and the lineup couldn't muster any runs. And once they turned it over to the bullpen, you don't have confidence, and they ended up losing the game last night. Well,
you've seen how the hitters are. Like when Judge went into a little slump, he didn't hit home run in 9 games, and they had Stanton out, and Rizzo missed a few games, and when guys had to step up, they just couldn't do it. So they have trouble, scoring runs. And if you get with the better teams in the playoffs, it's troublesome.
Yeah, and playoffs, you need your stars to step up. And looking at it, the last 30 games outside of Judge, they're big players aren't doing anything. Last 30 games, Rizzo's batting .211, Donaldson's batting .227, Gleyber Torres batting .176, Kiner Falefa, he's only batting .211. They need their big stars to help out Aaron Judge, because he can't carry the team by himself the entire year.
No, he's had so many big hits this year. And if Stanton can stay healthy, and that's always a big if, he gets clutch hits, and Rizzo gets some big hits. But, when they've needed guys to step up, they just haven't been able to do it. And I mean, for 25% of the season, they've been a bad team, basically.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully we got Stanton back 2 games ago, and hopefully that, sparks something in their lineup. But I mean, right now, I mean, the fact that they struggle to score runs and their bullpen is in shambles, it doesn't give you much hope for the playoffs.
No, I think the one positive, I love that kid, Oswaldo Cabrera.
Yeah.
He can play anywhere, and he makes like a great play every game.
Yeah, I mean, right field, shortstop. I mean, they can put him anywhere, and he had their first hit last night, a double. He broke up the A's no-hitter.
So that's been I'm glad they brought him up, and I wish they'd bring up the other kid, Peraza, the shortstop, but that ain't going to happen because then they lose the eligibility or something. They have to pay the kid then.
Yeah, they just had a thing on. I'm sorry, they just had a thing on Zach Britton. I guess it was just cramps last night.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that, but yeah, I mean, that young kid. Until Bader gets healthy, I think you keep putting him out there somewhere, anywhere.
Yeah, I'd actually like to see them keep him over this, Gonzalez.
Yeah, because Marlon Gonzalez, he's been struggling at the plate. I think he's only got 1 hit or 2 hits.
Yeah, well, one of the things with the Yankees has been going on for a long time, they really don't like to bring up minor league guys.
Yeah.
They'd rather stick with a veteran, and it's been going on forever, 20 years or so. They'd rather bring up a veteran, they'd rather sign a veteran, and they'll give him every opportunity, to succeed or fail. And a young kid who's playing well in the minors really doesn't get much of a shot.
No, I don't know why they're like that, but you're right.
Well, one of the things, they don't like to pay him. If they bring up, this Peraza, the shortstop, they would have to. I think they would lose a year of eligibility with him for the contract.
Yeah.
And I think because it's a big business nowadays. It's always been a big business, but now it's more in your face. And if a kid's tearing up AAA, bring him up.
Yeah. I think the Yankees ruined Clint Frazier and Andujar to some degree by just bringing them up, sending them back down, bringing them up. Even if they're playing well up here, they send them back down. Clint Frazier, every time he was coming up, would do good, and eventually he got this. He got disheartened, disenfranchised, and you could see it. His game started to suffer.
Well, one of the things, Clint Frazier, Andujar, there's been other guys, but just to give you, for instance, like a couple of years ago when the Yankees made all those big trades and they get Torres and they got Frazier, one of the guys they got from the A's was a kid named Billy McKinney, and he was a good prospect. But, he wasn't as highly regarded as Frazier and, a couple of the other guys. But 4 years later, McKinney's had 4 years in the big leagues.
Yeah.
And it's got like 500-600 at bats. Granted, he hasn't been tearing it up, but, he's got a shot with the Mets. He's got a shot with Oakland. He's been with Toronto. So he's had a career and has an opportunity to make money.
Yep.
And these other guys are just they're just struggling. There's nowhere to go. It's really, the human factor is, you're a pro, you should, work hard. But the human factor is if you're not getting a shot and you're tearing up the minor leagues, what are you doing? You're wasting your career.
Yeah, I mean that's like Andahar. I mean when down at he's got nothing to prove at AAA when he's down there. He's hitting, he's producing, but he just doesn't. He hasn't gotten another opportunity for a long opportunity with the Yankees. I mean, he even requested a trade earlier this year.
Yeah, and I mean that's been going on for a long time. I mean, the Yankees sign all these big name players, and they give them long-term contracts. So, if you're in the Yankee farm system, you might move up quickly through Double-A and even get to Triple-A. But when you get to Triple-A, they're take Florial.
Yeah.
He's got 40 at-bats, and he's been with the big league. He's been in the system for 7 years. He's 24.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, yeah.
He's not going to get a shot. They bring him up for one game. 1 or 2 games.
Yeah, and he's having his best season in the minors of his career. And like you said, they bring him up and he gets a game here, maybe a game there. But he doesn't get any consistent at-bats. And it's, if you're looking for a chance to prove yourself, you can't get it with a game here and a game there.
No. And that's why when the Yankees build up all these minor leaguers and they could be future this and future that, it doesn't really mean anything unless they bring them up and give them a shot. And if they bring them up, they're going to struggle. They could struggle for a while, and you're going to lose games. And I'm not so much knocking the Yankees the way they do things because they haven't had a losing season since '92, and they've won more games than anybody the last 20 years, and the last 10 years it's been them and the Dodgers. But if you're a younger player, I don't think it's a good system to be in with if you're an everyday player because you're not going to get a shot.
That's like when Gene Michael took over, the operations when Steinbrenner was suspended from baseball. I mean, guys like Bernie Williams were allowed to come up and go through their struggles. But imagine if you play today where, if you don't produce right away, they send you back down. Yeah.
And, the Yankees always have enough stars. They're going to win their 95, 98 games, get in the playoffs, but they do bring up pitchers. They bring pitchers up through the system, but everyday players they really don't develop.
No. And we were talking off air about Jordan Montgomery, about how his start with the Cardinals is impressive. He's in his first 4 starts, he's 4-0 with a 0.35 ERA. In his last outing, he pitched a complete game, 1-hit shutout.
Well, one of the things with the Yankees, Robert, I mean, they were taking him out a lot of times in the 5th inning with 1 or 2 outs.
Yeah.
And they don't want to complain and say anything, but you're human. You want to get your wins. Yeah. And I think with the Cardinals, they have Mike Maddox as a pitching coach. And he pitched 9 or 10 years in the big leagues, and he's been the Cardinal pitching coach for 15 years. And I'm sure they have their analytics. I mean, that's just the way it is. There's a lot of good things about it. But there's a human element, too. Now, Maddox pitched in the big leagues. His brother is a great pitcher, a Hall of Famer. And the Yankee pitching coach, who's done a good job, he never played professional baseball.
Yeah.
So, he pitched in college. And for the first half, the pitching was outstanding. But I think when you have somebody who's been there, like a guy like Maddox, and has had success and struggled and know how to develop pitchers, it makes a big difference. Yeah,
I mean, Montgomery in the first half of the season with the Yankees was 3-2, and he had a great ERA, but he wasn't getting the decisions because, like you said, they'd taken him out of the game early a lot. And since he's joined St. Louis, they've allowed him to go deep into games, and he's come away with 4 wins in his first 4 starts. And he's got a great arsenal of pitches. A lot of it's off speed. He's got like 5-6 pitches, and he's allowed to work the count, work the plate, and he's got a great catcher behind the plate in Molina, who allows him to pitch. Allows him to do his thing. And I just think you could see the difference between the Cardinals and the Yankees and their philosophy with pitchers.
Yeah, I mean, in the long term, it could all work out. But right now, the trade is a head scratcher.
Yeah.
And, this Bader guy could be a great outfielder and help the Yankees a lot. But right now, you just gave Montgomery away for nothing.
Yeah. Yep. And you, I mean, with pitching the way it is with the Yankees right now, it would be nice to have him.
Yeah. Yes, especially they need him now, and I don't really know what they're going to do because I keep saying it. The relievers are just they could conceivably blow this league. I don't think they're going to.
No,
but when you
that's good.
What are you going to do? You don't know who you're bringing in.
Yeah, and the Yankees got that guy Frankie Montez from Oakland, and he's had a good start, but otherwise, in 4 games, he's 0-1 with a 7.32 ERA. He's given up 24 hits in 19 innings, and I think he's given up 3 home. How many home runs has he given up? He's given up 3 home runs. But, I mean, the high ERA, the high hit count, getting up hits. I mean, it would have been nice to have Montgomery right now.
Yeah, and Montos, we're going to see how he pitches against Toronto, the Rays, the Red Sox, the Orioles, because these are the teams they're going to be facing in September. And, I mean, they're going to have to win a good amount of their games to get in the playoffs. If you win your division, it doesn't matter how many games you win it by, but you got to win it. But it could get down to 3 or 4 games by the end of next week if the play don't pick up.
Yeah, because after Oakland today, they have 11 series left, and 6 of those 11 series come against the teams in their division. They got 6 against Tampa, 6 against Boston, 3 against Toronto, and 3 against Baltimore. And right now, Tampa Bay is only 8.5 back.
After they beat the Mets on Monday and Tuesday, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
They had lost like 6 series in a row.
Yeah. Yep.
So, they just really got to pick it up. I mean, that's all I can keep saying.
Yeah, because since the All-Star break, the first 30 games after the All-Star break, they were 10-20, and then they went on that little 5-game winning streak until they lost last night. But they, like you said, the bullpen's been in shambles, and offensively, outside of Judge, no one's really hitting.
Yeah, Judge has just been incredible this year. I mean, he's come up with so many big hits. It's I mean, if he don't get another homer and another RBI the rest of the year, he still had a great season with like 35 games to go.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 49 home runs and I think like 109 RBIs. Yeah, he's got 109 RBIs so far in the year.
Yeah, he's on the pace to break not only the Yankee record, Roger Maris, but set the American League record with most home runs. Yeah,
and like you said, the starting pitching has been solid all year. It's the bullpen. I mean, right now it'd be nice to us to get healthy and get on the right track before the playoffs, because we could be bounced out early, and if we do advance, or you're going to face Houston, and we struggle against Houston.
Yeah, they just don't. The Yankees are built for the regular season.
Yeah, they are.
Over a long-term season, they'll win a lot of games. They'll get a lot of headlines. And I think the thing with Yankee management, they get to the playoffs, and it's a crapshoot when you get in the playoffs. But, the guys you give all these money to, they just have to perform in the playoff. And, it's good they got a lot of the new guys, like Donaldson and Rizzo, and there's a bunch of others, Trevino, Connor Falefa. We'll see how they do, in the playoffs. But, over the years, the Yankees have had the guys that could succeed in the playoffs, and for whatever reason, they just haven't done it.
Yeah, I was voicing my concerns on Facebook last night that, Cashman has built a team predicated on power hitting and power pitching. And someone replied, that's how we're going to win a World Series. We got to hit home runs in the playoffs. And I'm like, well, how's that worked out for them? That's been their philosophy for years now, and it doesn't work. In the playoffs, you're going to face teams with a better pitching staff that don't give up home runs, and you got to be able to grind out at bats and put the ball in play, something the Yankees have struggled with. And I think that's the thing is you need your stars to step up, and you got to be able to put the ball in play.
Yeah, when the Yankees won, like in 2009, I mean, you had a guy like Johnny Damon, and you had guys over the years like Luis Sojo and Chuck Knobloch, and there was numerous other guys who weren't big name players, but they do the little things to win games.
Yeah. They grind out at bats. They wear out the pitcher, help wear out the pitcher. I mean, it's the little things. When you go up there just trying to swing for the fences, you're making the job for the pitcher easier.
Yeah, in 2000, in 2009, you even had, you had a guy like Brett Gardner. And so you need these kind of players that aren't going to hit a lot of home runs and stuff. But in the playoffs, they can step up. Maybe they got a guy like Connor Falefa and Trevino and this Cabrera kid if they give him a shot. But, you just can't have a home run or nothing because when you face better pitching, it's usually nothing. Yeah,
yep. And that's like I was talking off there wondering who might be our three starters in the playoffs. Cole, of course, but who's after him? Severino, if he's healthy, maybe someone like Herman, or do you go with Cortez? Which pitcher would you have coming out of the bullpen? Because right now, I think Domingo Herman's one of, I think that year he won 18 games as a rookie. It was no fluke,
No, I like him, and I like his arm, and I don't know, maybe come playoff time or later in this, you might think of sticking him maybe in the bullpen.
Yeah.
And, as we talked all season, Cortez is on the disabled list, so-called disabled list, because, you have to limit his innings.
Yeah.
And I know with Sevy, he's almost ready to come back, and they put him on the 60-day. I think Robert Severino would be a good reliever. And, I'm not saying they do it next year or the year, but at some point he'd be, I think, a really terrific relief pitcher.
Oh, yeah. I mean, his fastball's got great life to it, and his slider's got a nasty break to it. I mean, those two pitches, he'd be great closing out games. John Smoltz did it.
Yeah, because, in the bullpen, you only need two pitches.
Yeah.
With a starter, you need four. And it's a lot more wear and tear on the arm. And with Sevy getting hurt all the time, it's like, how many years can he go as a starter? It's starting to get, it's starting to get ridiculous with all the, the arm injuries. It's just, how long a career is he going to have?
Yeah, and he has the perfect kind of mentality to be like a closer. Because closing's a whole different animal, and he has he's so competitive. He has the mentality to be a closer. I think he'd make a great one.
Yeah, with the big time fastball, the slider, and he's developed a changeup. He's got an outstanding off changeup. So I don't know. Maybe in the coming years, if the Yankees listen to us, maybe we'll convert him to a reliever.
Yeah. After today, like I said, we go to Anaheim, right? Anaheim Angels, or the Los Angeles Angels? I keep forgetting.
I'll call them the California Angels.
Okay. Yeah. We go to the Angels for 3, and then we fly to Tampa for 3. and then we got 4 against Minnesota. So we got 2 teams we can beat up on. Well, you can't really beat up on Minnesota. They got some talent. But
we got that's right. We didn't let.
Yeah, so they got a tough road to hoe, and especially down here in Tampa. Tampa always plays the Yankees tough down here in Tampa, but the thing is, with the you still got a pretty big lead. All you have to do is split.
Yeah. Minnesota's only 3 games out of first in their division.
Yeah, a lot of the teams have picked up in the American League. Look at a team like the Orioles, and so there's more teams that actually have a shot at the playoffs. But the thing is, like teams like the Orioles, the Red Sox, and the Jays and the Rays, they're all playing each other.
Yeah.
So if the Yankees can find a way just to keep winning a fair amount of their games, they'll be in good shape.
Yeah, the Orioles, they're only 1 game out of the wild card. Right now it's Tampa, Seattle, and Toronto. And Baltimore is 1 game out, and the Twins are 3.5 out.
Yeah, I'd like to see the Orioles get in.
Yeah. They've had a good year this year.
Yeah, the Yankees played them at the right time at the beginning of the year when they were struggling a little bit. And, now they're really been I read a stat the other day that since like May 18th, they'd be in first place in the American League East. They got a better record than the Yankees.
Wow, yeah, they've been picking it up all year long. So yeah, they got off to that slow start, but ever since then, holy shit.
Yeah, it may be changed with the 5-game Yankee winning streak lately, but for a long time, till a week ago, they had a better record than the Yankees since the middle of May.
Wow. And it's like I'm looking at the National League wild card. It's amazing how the Phillies they looked like they were going to have just a bummer of a year, and they fired Girardi, and now they got the second wild card spot in the National League.
Yeah, I think they just got Bryce Harper came back.
Yeah, he had 2 RBIs in his first game. I think in his first at bat he drove in 2 runs.
Yeah, how about the Mets and the Braves?
Yeah, right now the Mets got, I think, a 3-game lead over them right now. That's going to go down to the wire.
Yeah, and the Yankees, beating Scherzer on a Monday night was tremendous. And then Tuesday, they were supposed to face Degraw.
Yeah,
Degraw, I think his arm was bothering him or something, so he pulled out of that start.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah. So that's one of the things when you win, you miss an ace on a team, and instead of the guy pitching on a Tuesday, he's going to pitch on a Wednesday, and you take advantage of that. So that's one of the things of how you win games.
Yeah, you need a little help throughout the season.
And you need a kid like Jeffrey Mayer to reach over and try to hit the home run ball.
That's crazy because we'll never see never see that happen again. But at the time, it was pretty clear watching it that he reached over the fence. We got lucky on that one.
It's funny how things turn out. If they ruled that a catch, I think the Orioles would have been up 2-0.
Yeah, yep.
In that series, and the great Yankee dynasty in 96 through 2001, might not have happened if we
didn't get luck.
Yeah. So you never know what's going to happen. It's just breaks of the game.
I'm sorry, the Braves are 2.5 back of the Mets, not 3. 2.5.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, that will go down to the wire. And look, the Dodgers are 19 games up on the Padres, and the Padres are 70 and 58. Not like they're a bad team.
No, the Dodgers have just played terrific all year, and Joey Gallo played well for them.
Yeah, and the Cardinals are 6 games up in their division. Yeah. Playoffs should be interesting, especially with the extra wild card team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of it, but it does create interest. Oh, one of the things, Rob, we could talk about the schedule for next season.
Oh, I didn't even know the schedule was out.
Yeah, they put the schedule out the other day for next season, and what's happening is all the teams are going to play each other.
Oh, really?
I mean, you're still going to have, I think what they're basically trying to do, they're going to get 4 divisions with 8 teams, and it might eliminate the American and National League. I think that's what it's coming to.
Wow. Holy shit. That'd be strange.
Because the Yankees are opening up at home if they don't get snowed out, I think, March 30th against the San Francisco Giants.
Really? I totally missed that.
Yeah, they put that out, I think, on Tuesday or Wednesday. So, you'll still have the American League, the National League for next year. But I think in the not too distant future, you'll have, maybe 4 8-teams divisions. Now, I think if they go, you'll still have, I think, the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Mets and the Pirates and the Phillies and the Nationals and the Orioles all in the same division. So the Yankees will still be playing a lot of the teams they have now. But I think that, I don't like it. I'd rather just see the 2 leagues, but I think that's it's going to be a thing of the past in the next 3 or 4 seasons.
Yeah, how about that? The new schedule format includes 52 divisional games. It was previously 76, 64 other interleague games, previously 66, and 46 interleague games, previous 20. Each team will play a 4-game home and home series against their geographic interleague rival. Think Mets versus Yankees, etc. Plus 1 3-game series against the other 14 teams in the other league. Wow. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, the Yankees open up against the Giants. Blue Jays against the Cardinals. Wow.
Yeah, it's just. Unfortunately, I think this is the way it's going to be. I mean, the older fans are going to be dead in the near future unless they get better. And this is what you're going to have. So being an older fan, it's sad to see this happening.
Yeah, and what about the shift? Are they eliminating the shift next year?
I believe they are.
I hope so.
I think if you do shift, you have to have at least 1 foot on the infield grass.
Yeah.
So go ahead. Sorry, Robert.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that they need to make the game just a little bit more exciting offensively. I think eliminating the shift, nowadays fielders, you talk about their fielding percentage, but when you got 3 guys on one side of the infield, chances are the ball is going to be hit to you. You're not going to have to make a play on it. I think if you make the defensive players play their position, you'll see more singles, maybe more doubles, more guys in the base pass. It'd be a little bit more exciting than just home runs and strikeouts.
Yeah, because what you have now with a lot of these alignments, it looks like you're playing softball. You got a short fielder.
Yeah.
So I think I think they're eliminating that, and I don't know why they didn't do it this year. It's like the extra innings with the runner on second.
Yeah. I hate that.
Yeah, another thing. I mean, I haven't looked up the stats because, it's I don't really like the the runner on second to start the extra inning, but the Yankees have an awful time.
Oh yeah, God, yeah.
When Donaldson got the big hit a couple weeks ago, and the grand slam after Chapman blew up and almost lost the game.
Yeah.
But the Yankees, they get a guy on second, and they have a terrible time getting a run in. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd think it'd be easy.
One of the things now, with the big players being bigger and stronger and faster, but you can't tell me, 30, 20, 30, 40, even 50 years ago, you put a runner on second to start an inning.
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee they if they did it 9, 10 times, they would score 6 or 7 times at least. They would run them over.
I was watching an old Yankees game against the Red Sox in the 70s, and I forget what hitter. It was the Red Sox number 4 hitter, and he doubled to start off the inning, and the number 5 hitter put down a bunt to move him to third, and so you had a runner on third with only 1 out, and back then it didn't matter if you're the 4th or 5th hitter, you could put down a bunt to move a runner over. You don't see that today.
Yeah, and I mean, another thing, say like in the mid-'80s, if you started an inning, next inning, and you had Ricky Henderson at second.
Yeah.
And Billy Martin's the manager, he'd have the guy bunt, and he would try to get Ricky to score from second. on bunt. And, that's exciting. You have a squeeze play or a suicide squeeze. And you're never going to see that nowadays. That just doesn't happen.
That's I will give Buck Showalter credit with the Mets. I mean, Starling Marte he stole home twice this year, and Buck's not afraid to have a guy bunt and move runners over. He loves analytics, but he uses it as a tool, not to live and die by. And you've seen Buck use a little bit of the old school with the new school. But you don't see the majority of the teams don't do it. They don't. They live and die by the analytics.
No, I mean one thing I should mention. Connor Falefa did do it against the Red Sox. He did bunt and get a run home. But Buck, one of the criticisms. Oh, you can't bring back the older guys. They won't. They don't care about the analytics and stuff. And I mean, Buck has just done a great job. With the Mets.
Yeah. And he's had a big impact on Francisco Lindor, and you could see Lindor, and he's having a great season because Buck's been behind him since day one when he got the job.
Well, I mean, Buck's been around a long time, and they go by what they see. They get to know their players. They spend time with them. They talk to them, and they know what makes them tick, and they let them play. And they put them in situations where they're going to be successful, and they're people. They're not just computers. And when you treat them as human beings instead of like statistics on a chart, a lot of times they'll perform better.
I mean, that was a major reason why the Yankees moved on from Girardi. Girardi, he embraced the analytics, but he didn't want to live and die by it, where the Yankees, as an organization, they wanted a manager to do what the analytical department says is the best thing to do. And so far, I mean, it's worked during the regular season, but it hasn't helped them in the playoffs.
No. And that's the thing, people play the game. It's just not a cold business. And if you just treat them like statistics on a chart, well, then, when they go to free agents, who knows? Maybe Judge won't want to stay with the Yankees.
Yeah. I mean, this season, listening to him talk, you can't get a read on whether he wants to go or he wants to stay. Normally you would hear a player saying, I want to be a Yankee for life, but he's been really tight-lipped about what he's thinking.
Well, I know, like, I remember, I think of reading the story about when Tino was with Seattle and when Paul O'Neill was with the Reds, you know, and Piniella was a manager both times, you know. He goes, well, who do you want to be traded to? Who would you like to play for? You know, they said the Yankees, and they did what they could to get him to the Yankees.
Yeah.
And and it's now like we keep saying, you know, you get these guys in the minor leagues and they don't have no career.
Yeah. They'd rather hold on to them for a game here, a game there when they need them. Otherwise, they hold on to them. And I feel bad for those young players because the team has control over them for a good portion of their 20s.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's like a personal thing, but it's more business. It's like the Godfather said. And, you know, it's just it might be, there's nothing wrong with it, but what's right about it? You know, it's
exactly.
It's a messed up thing. I don't know. That's just my worthless opinion.
You know, but it'd be interesting because I know they're extremely high in Anthony Volpe, and kind of for they signed to him a 1 year, 2 year deal.
Yep.
Kind of yeah. So I wonder when we'll see him. I guess, I mean, looks like they're going to pave a way for Volpe to come up, but the other guys, I feel bad for him.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, you know, let's go back when they brought Jeter up.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the Yankees had a lot of veteran players, and they had a lot of, you know, outstanding players. I mean, Tino was great with the Yankees, and Paul O'Neill, and Posada. I mean, the list is endless. But they had a guy like they had Joey Davis and Cecil Fielder, Tony Fernandez. So they had guys who could, you know, help the younger players. So Jeter just had to blend in.
Yeah,
and he was terrific. But, you know, you say Volpe comes up at shortstop, and after a month, you know, he's hitting 180, which 180 now isn't what 180 used to be. But, you know, you don't know, are they even going to get a shot?
Yeah, because the Yankees, when Jeter came up, Tony Fernandez was their shortstop, but they worked Jeter in.
Yeah.
But it's so different today. I mean, I find it hard to watch the game sometimes just because it's so boring.
Yeah, I'm with you, Robert. I used to know like every player on every team. You know, we could go back 30, 40, 50 years, and you could ask me a player, and I could give you a little something now. Now I don't even know who the hell's on the other teams.
Right?
You know, I
yeah. Right? Yeah, I'm the same way. I could tell you everything about all the players, and now I don't even know who most of the players are.
Yeah.
On other teams, you know? Man.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. But, yeah, going back to this club, I mean, we still got the 8.5 game lead. I think we make the playoffs, but right now I'm a little concerned about our chances in the playoffs. Yeah,
it doesn't really look good now. Of course, it could all change. I mean, they could get Holmes back, and maybe Britton or somebody will step up in the playoffs, and Sevy might. So, you know, maybe 6-8 weeks from now, it's a whole different tune. Yeah, that's like hopefully when we talk next week, you know, we have, like I said, 3 with the Angels, 3 with Tampa. Hopefully their lineup is producing a little more, and the bullpen starts to take shape a little bit, so we know what the hell's going on there. Yeah, well, it's always fun to talk to you, and it's always great to talk about the Yankees, Robert. So likewise, yeah. Well, hopefully, you know, next week we're still 8.5 games up, and we're starting to right the ship a little bit. Sounds good. Okay, and to all the listeners out there, we'll catch you next week.
The proceeding has been a Comfortably Zoned network production. You are advised to keep your dreams wet, your humor dry, your children and grandchildren out of military recruiting offices and off the laps of clerics who wear dresses. Thank you for listening, everyone. Happy trails.